Nation, and welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decide to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. So, as you can see, it's just me tonight. No special guest hosts for this week. Tyler was going to be on the show, but he did have a power outage that happened to him. So thoughts and prayers go out to you, my brother. Hopefully that you are well, that you're warm, and that you're keeping safe. And hopefully to have you on next week. But I do have my week 4 review, my picks for week 5, and my special 4th and Goal interview featuring Mr. Tom Ramen of the LA Likings, as well as Rachel Colston. So this is going to be a fantastic show, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so I have my picks from last week, and wasn't looking too good, but I'll explain. So I chose Arizona. I chose Atlanta, Sioux Falls, Jacksonville, St. Louis, Las Vegas Fury, Queen City, DC, Fort Worth, Florida Storm, Baltimore, and Carolina. So let's see how everything shook out, shall we? I'm sure I got them all right. Bruh. You know, all of them.
Stop the cap.
All right. So Louisiana took on the Atlanta Swarm at home, and Louisiana won their first game in Atlanta. Couldn't believe it. But congratulations to you guys. Score 30-20, and I was wrong about this game. See, I'm starting off on a bad note already. Louisiana had 159 yards passing, 130 yards rushing with 289 yards total. Time of possession was 25 minutes and 2 seconds with 1 turnover. Atlanta had 363 yards passing, 57 yards rushing, and 420 yards total. Their time of possession was 18 minutes and 54 seconds with 5 turnovers. So clearly, turnovers was the name of the game in that. And then ATL's rushing game was stifled by St. Louis's defense. BDG wasn't able to get off like he normally would. It looks like Louisiana had a fantastic rushing game of 130. When you get those kind of scores, you can't help but to win the game. They held the ball longer, 25 minutes and 2 seconds versus the 18, so they had more chances to actually get things done. Player of the game was Reggie Streeter, 21 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 yards per carry. The Charleston Predators took on the DC Dragons, and Charleston won 28-21. Again, I was wrong about this game. Starting on the roll with the nose. Charleston had 248 yards passing, 163 yards rushing, 411 yards total. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 55 seconds with no mistakes. DC had 353 yards passing, 91 yards rushing, 441 yards total. Their time of possession was 25 minutes and 42 seconds with 3 turnovers. Now, in this game, looks like DC put up a big fight. You know, they had 25 minutes in playing time. But again, the turnover bug got to them with those 3 interceptions. Charleston is no joke. Once they get the ball, they can do their thing, as you can see, with 163 rushing yards from the player of the game, Keith Swearingen. He had 20 attempts, again, for 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 reception yards, and 1 reception touchdown. So 3 touchdowns to Keith. No wonder you're the player of the game. And no wonder in Charleston is so dangerous. Oh boy, the Denver Night Wings took on the Arizona Scorpions, and Denver won 36-23. Of course, I was wrong about this game, as I've always told you guys. I'm not going to go against my team. But in this case, you know, we did all we could. It just wasn't enough. Denver had 216 yards passing, 129 yards rushing, 345 yards total. Their time of possession was 22 minutes and 41 seconds with no mistakes. Arizona had 439 yards passing, only 47 yards rushing though. 486 yards total. Our time of possession was 21 minutes and 19 seconds, but 3 turnovers. Again, the 3 interceptions that I threw, especially at costly times of the game, helped Denver get this win. They did also hold DJ Moses to 47 yards rushing versus Jared McChesney having 129, and I guess that's why he is the player of the game with 26 attempts, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 50 reception yards. Wow. The Los Angeles Vikings took on the Florida Storm, and Florida won 27-17, and I was right about this game. LA had 151 yards passing, 108 yards rushing for 259 yards total. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 47 seconds with 2 turnovers. Florida had 252 yards passing, 68 yards rushing with 320 yards total. Their time of possession was 25 minutes and 56 seconds with 3 turnovers. So it's crazy, that LA had 2 turnovers while Florida had 3. But Florida also had definitely more time passing than LA did. It seemed like Florida was able to stifle LA's passing game. Now their rushing game was actually pretty good, but those turnovers definitely made a difference in stopping LA's passing game, because LA was 3 and they actually won all of their games up until this point. This is their first loss, so I'm sure Sully and Ray and Tom kind of took that kind of hard, but it's always next week, right? Player of the game was wide receiver Steven Bush. 17 receptions, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, and 10 yards per catch. Mexico City Aztecs took on the Sioux Falls Sparrows, and Mexico won 41-38. I was wrong about this game. Mexico had 354 yards passing, 153 yards rushing, 507 total yards. Their time of possession was 22 minutes and 2 seconds with 2 turnovers. Sioux Falls had 210 yards passing, 270 yards rushing, 417 yards total. Their time of possession was 21 minutes and 58 seconds with 3 mistakes. I have never seen Sioux Falls go 0 in anything really, but now that they are 0-4, I'm hoping that they'll get the game plan that they need to get things turned around. I had no idea how much Jalen Wells was basically the catalyst for that team. Colin Hart was doing this thing at one time, but I guess he really needed Jalen to help make those lanes for him, and even as an option. Mexico City, great passing game with the Bronze Bomber there. 153 yards rushing is also absolutely amazing. But Sioux Falls had 270 yards rushing, so it wasn't that. I think that Mexico City just had a better game plan all around. The player of the game was halfback Phoenix Jones for 18 attempts, 157 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 47 reception yards. The Queen City Corsairs took on the Tulsa Desperados, and Tulsa won 37-20. I was wrong about this game. I'm very surprised as well. Tulsa had 204 yards passing, 77 yards rushing for 281 yards total. Their time of possession was 19 minutes and 51 seconds with 2 turnovers. Queen City had 248 yards passing, 97 yards rushing, and 345 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 42 seconds with 5 turnovers. Now, last week, I was talking to Tyler about, it seems that certain teams, like Queen City, for instance, they put up larger numbers than Tulsa did, but Tulsa wound up coming out with the win. But in this case, with the 5 turnovers, that could have made the difference in this game. But even with the 248 yards passing to 204, You know, they put up 345 total points versus Tulsa's 281. Guess Tulsa was just smarter with the ball. Player of the game was halfback Sonzo Robinson with 19 attempts, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 26 reception yards. Congratulations, Tulsa. The Jacksonville Kings took on the Lone Star Glory, and the Glory won 38-22. I was also wrong about this game. Wow. The Kings had 363 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, and 413 total yards. Time possession was 26 minutes and 40 seconds with 4 turnovers. The Glory had 354 yards passing, 47 yards rushing, and 401 yards total. Their time possession was 16 minutes and 7 seconds with 3 turnovers. Again, even though the Kings had one more turnover than they did, it was pretty much even. I mean, well, except even with the allotted time, the Kings had the ball for 26 minutes and the Glory had the ball for 16 minutes, but the Glory was able to capitalize on those 16 minutes. So congratulations, Glory. The player of the game was wide receiver Greg Soto with 5 receptions, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he went 35.8 yards per catch. The London Knights took on the Baltimore Vultures, and Baltimore won 27-20. I was right about this game. Baltimore had 251 yards passing, 107 yards rushing for 358 yards total. Their time possession was 22 minutes even with 3 turnovers. London put up a good fight with 289 yards passing with 25 yards rushing though. 314 yards total. Time possession was 21 minutes and 38 seconds with 3 turnovers. So clearly Baltimore had a way better rushing game than London did. The defense held London to 25 yards rushing. They were not able to pass as much as they were last game against Arizona, and that definitely made a difference. Player of the game was running back T. Roy Gaines. 22 attempts, 107 yards, 1 touchdown, 36 reception yards. Congratulations, Baltimore. The Vancouver Legion took on the St. Louis Gladiators, and St. Louis won 34-21. I was right about this game. St. Louis had 252 yards passing, 88 yards rushing, 340 yards total. Their time possession was 24 minutes and 41 seconds with no mistakes. Vancouver had 397 yards passing, 75 yards rushing, 472 yards total. Their time possession was 60 minutes and 18 seconds with 1 turnover. Again, you know, with St. Louis has been unstoppable. They are now, first of all, it was a battle of the undefeated teams. So St. Louis came in this game 3-0, Vancouver 3-0, and St. Louis took the win. Like I said, it's amazing how Vancouver had the ball for 60 minutes and St. Louis only had it for 24 minutes and was able to get a whole lot more done. Like I literally had to look at the website again just to make sure I had it right, but that's what it came out to be. Player of the game was quarterback Christian Brown, 28 completions, 31 attempts, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 32.8. St. Louis is on a roll. I'm very proud of them. Congratulations. San Diego Mavericks took on the Carolina Skyhawks, and Carolina won 29-17. I was right about this game. Carolina had 189 yards passing, 188 yards rushing, 377 yards total. Their time of possession was 24 minutes and 1 second with no mistakes. San Diego had 163 yards passing, 166 yards rushing, 329 yards total. Their time possession was 19 minutes and 45 seconds with 1 mistake. Definitely Carolina had a more balanced game. 189 yards rushing, 188 yards total. So everybody was getting the ball, it looks like. And with a more balanced game and no turnovers, great recipe to win the game. Player of the game was halfback Logan Jack with 37 attempts, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 21 reception yards. The Fort Worth Toros took on the Portland Fleet, and Fort Worth won 37-17. And I was right about this game. Fort Worth had 244 yards passing, 141 yards rushing, 385 yards total. Their time of possession was 23 minutes and 27 seconds with 2 mistakes. Portland had 237 yards passing, 238 yards rushing, 275 yards total, with their time of possession being 20 minutes and 3 seconds with 4 mistakes. Again, the mistakes will kill you every time. You got 4 of them, plus your rushing game was only held to 38. No wonder Fort Worth came off with that win. Player of the game was halfback Jason Williams with 25 attempts, 141 yards, 1 touchdown, and 12 reception yards. And the last game of the evening was the Houston Hyenas taking on the Las Vegas Fury. And Houston won 34-27, and I was wrong about this game. Houston had a whopping 560 yards passing, 44 yards rushing, 604 total yards. Time of possession was 26 minutes and 1 second with no mistakes. Las Vegas had 272 yards passing, 26 yards rushing, 298 yards total. Their time of possession was 17 minutes and 42 seconds with 4 mistakes. So not only did Las Vegas have those mistakes, Houston completely balled out passing wise with 560 yards passing from their quarterback. And it's crazy because E.T. King, he, with all of those passing yards, was an absolutely phenomenal performance. And Las Vegas, has to go back to the drawing board. And I actually think that Colin is one of should be in contention with Rookie of the Year. But once he gets those turnover bugs out of his system, I think that they'll definitely be able to turn things around. But player of the game was wide receiver Dr. Sims with 12 receptions, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 24.8 yards per catch. So, guys, I had 5 right this week and 7 wrong this week. So we looking kind of rough right now, but hopefully, I'll be able to change things around with my picks for week 5. All right, and so now my week 5 review. Saturday, February the 20th, Vancouver Legion will be taking on the Los Angeles Vikings at 4:30 p.m., which will be a fantastic game to watch. Both teams were starting out their seasons 3-0. Well, yeah, basically 3-0 with the last week. They both lost for the first time, so it should be interesting to see who has the better game plan, who's going to come out with that win. Los Angeles will be at home. This game will be streamed on 11 Sports and for the fans Twitch network. And I am going to go with, and it's going to be at 4:30, just in case I didn't mention that. I will be going with, it's going to be hard. But I'm going to go with Los Angeles on this one. I think that with their defense, from Sully, I think he's going to wind up turning things around, and they're going to give Vancouver a run for their money. It won't be by much, but yeah. St. Louis versus DC at 5:05 p.m. on TV ESN bonus coverage, streaming on SFL Twitch, and I am going to go with DC has been turning their game up, and it is going to be at home, but I think St. Louis is on fire right now. So I think St. Louis is going to take this game. The Atlanta Swarm will be taking on the Jacksonville Kings at 6:40 p.m. on TV, 11 Sports Network, streaming on it for the fans Twitch. And I am going to go with Atlanta on this one. I think that they're still kind of upset by the loss that they took, and they're going to take it out in Jacksonville. Las Vegas Fury will be taking on your Arizona Scorpions at 7:15 p.m. on TV, ESN bonus coverage, streaming on SFL Twitch, and I am going to go with Arizona, of course. as long as we can cut down on the turnovers, as long as I can cut down on the interceptions, and be able to capitalize on mistakes, I think we have a good chance to win. Fort Worth Toros will be taking on the Houston Hyenas at 9 p.m., streaming on LSN for the fans Facebook and Twitch at 9 p.m. And I am going to go with the way Houston played last week. I think I'm going to go with Houston. They're going to be at home. Fort Worth is a fantastic team. I cannot say enough about them because they have been balling out as well. But I think Houston has that magic touch. So Houston's going to win this game. Sioux Falls will be taking on Tulsa. The Sioux Falls Sparrows will be taking on the Tulsa Desperados at 9:20 p.m. streaming on SFL Twitch. I am going to go with Tulsa on this one. They're going to be at home, and the way they played at home last week, they definitely, have good mojo going. Sioux Falls has a chance. I want to say Sioux Falls, but unless they can get that turnaround to happen, I just don't see it. So Tulsa wins this game. On Sunday, February the 21st, 4 p.m., the Denver Night Wings will be taking on the Louisiana Revolution. That is going to be a fantastic game. Louisiana will be at home, and Denver is coming fresh off a win off us, off Arizona. I think Denver will go in, and Jared McChesney will be able to do what Jared does and help them win the game. It probably won't be a large margin win. If anything, Kramer Jackman is going to have to come and kick that sure-footed field goal that he normally makes. But yeah, Denver's going to take this one. At 4:20 p.m., Carolina and the Carolina Skyhawks will be taking on the Charleston Predators and streaming on SFL Twitch channel. And I believe that Carolina is actually going to win this game. Charleston Predators, though, they have been unstoppable. Keith Swearingen and the way Buchanan Simmons, you know what, guys? Carolina, don't get mad. Please don't. But I think I'm going to go with Charleston. They're going to be at home. They do have a lot more weapons. They can kill you with the run game or the passing game. I think that Charleston is going to definitely take this by probably a touchdown or two. But Carolina is no sleepers either. But yeah, Charleston has the win. 6 p.m. Mexico City will be taking on Mexico City Aztecs will be taking on the Florida Storm, and I'm thinking, it's going to be a great game. Florida will be at home again against Mexico City. Mexico City had a fantastic game last season. Both of them, actually last week, both of them did. I think that Florida will take the edge on this one, though. At 6:35 p.m., the Lone Star Glory will be taking on the London Knights, streaming on For the Fans bonus coverage and SFL Twitch channel. I am going to go with Lone Star. I think that Lone Star is going to go over to London and win the game probably about anywhere from 7 to 10 points, but we'll see. At 8:10 p.m., the Queen City Corsairs will be taking on the Baltimore Vultures. And Baltimore will be at home, streaming on For the Fans and For the Fans Network and For the Fans Twitch. I will definitely go with Baltimore on this one until Queen City can get a third gear going. I think that Baltimore is definitely going to take the win. And the last game of the week, 8:45 p.m., the Portland Fleet will be taking on the San Diego Mavericks, which should be a fantastic game. Portland does have a fantastic defense. San Diego with Optimus Klein, they're starting to turn things around. It will be a home game for San Diego. This game will be streaming on For the Fans bonus coverage as well, SFL Twitch TV. I think that Portland Fleet is going to come out with the win. Not by much. I think it's going to be Portland, though. Probably by about 3 to 7 points. So we're going to see if I'm right, or if I had another week like this week where it was kind of a little off kilter. But if you want more information about us, feel free to visit our website at www.simulationfl.net for more details, to see all of our great articles, to see all of our great podcasting segments, see all of our good stuff. We have it right there on the website. Even if you want to order jerseys, if you want the new helmets that we have, feel free, go on there and check it out and join us through our Discord. Next up, Fourth and Goal interview coming right up. And everybody, welcome back to my Fourth and Goal interview. I have with me Mr. Tom Ramen. Now, Rachel was supposed to be with us tonight, but she had prior obligations that she had to take care of, so that is why she is not here, but she's with us in spirit. But I have her other half here with me, Tom Ramen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ashley. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. You know I'm always glad to have you guys on. You know, when you reached out to me, I was like, yay, Tom! How is my best buddy, Nico?
He's doing well. He's sleeping right now. He had a rough day, climbing up cat trees and eating nuts.
Hey, well, that sounds like a good life to me. Boy. So, tell me, what has changed in your real life and in SFL-wise since we last spoke?
When did we last speak?
Was
it before the season?
Yes, like right before.
So I got injured. I tore my tendon that holds my bicep onto my arm. It's been operated on, and I'm almost back to normal functionality now. It's a couple months of rehab where they want you to take it really slow, but everything's coming along great. As you know, the SFL season started, and we've played 4 games, which is amazing. It's always fun. It was fun when I was a player, and it's now even more fun being an owner and a coach. Mm-hmm. A lot more involvement, but I've got a great partner, and we've got a great support system in LA.
Definitely, and you guys were 3-1 now. You won your first 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of shot out of the gate. You never know what it's going to look like playing against people. You have an idea, right? You sim and you test stuff. But I think we were riding high on the first 3 wins, and going into week 4, we knew it was going to be tough. No one wants to face Mighty, especially in his own house. Yes. So we did what we could to try to take him down. We just fell short in the last couple seconds, and I don't think the score was indicative of how close it really was. But I think losing that was our first loss, but it lit a fire underneath both of us, and I think sometimes you need that to get better.
So tell me, what changed? Like, was there something in the playbooks that changed, and you wanted to try something a little different, and it just didn't work out for you this game? Because after you coming off those 3 wins like that, and then just to have the loss, how?
Well, we saw Florida go into Carolina, mm-hmm. and they just dink and dunk down the field. But on defense, they played man, which they hadn't done for a long time, and so we didn't know what to prepare for. So the way I put it, we were trying to out Florida, and so we went through and looked at all their plays, and we tried to mimic as close as we could what Florida was doing. And if you go back and watch the game, you'll see the same plays on both sides of the ball, and I'm thinking, oh man, what did we do? But I mean, I don't think it was a bad game plan. I just think we didn't execute as well as we could have.
Understandable. That's understandable. And I'm sure you're going to get back in the lab and do your thing and come out with that win next week.
That's the plan. We're already at it.
I'm sure, especially with Ray Ray. I'm sure she was on it that night.
That is absolutely true. She was.
Awesome. So, who do you feel will be the most challenging team to face on your schedule?
I think Florida was a big one. We played Vancouver twice. Vancouver's very strong this season. I don't know. There were a couple, I guess, I would say preseason we were more worried about, and now we're kind of shifting our view and thinking look at Portland. Portland's got one of the best defenses in the league. I don't want to go in there and throw the ball against them or run against them. You know, we don't want to make those mistakes and turnovers, but I think that's something you have to accept when you play a team like that. So the best thing about this league is teams can change week to week and season to season, and so you never know what you're going to get until the game starts, which is something that keeps it very interesting.
Do you think that Legends mode had a major impact on the games this season?
Well, as some people know, I was involved with the testing with Legends mode, and so from the moment we started, I saw almost every game and watched plays. Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised at what we're seeing, but I do think I would say it does have something to do with the shift in wins and losses. The way I look at it, the teams that are testing and putting more work into sims now are getting better results, and the teams that classically have a history of winning may not be testing and figuring out newer plays that work in this system. That may be true and it may be not. You know, it's just one of those things you see and you think, you know, maybe they didn't test to see if these runs will work or these passes will work or this defense. But I think the league as a whole benefits from the Legends mode.
Okay, I get that. I can kind of see that with Sioux Falls. Like, I've never known them to go 0-4. You know, so right. Maybe they're one of those classic teams that where, you know, they're so used to having certain things happening for them that if you're not testing, then, or as much as you could be or should be, then this is the outcome that you get. But I understand that. So you mentioned this a little bit earlier that you will be playing Vancouver, who is highly upset that their win streak was snapped by St. Louis. I was wondering, what is one of the main aspects that you will be focused on in trying to take the win over Vancouver? Because Vancouver will put a 40 burger up on you and like nobody's business. So one thing I have a tendency to do is overanalyze and get as much information as I can about things. Okay. And one of the things I did about 2 weeks ago is I went through each of the teams and I figured out how much teams had spent on offense and defense. The number 1 and 2 teams for offensive salary cap spending is Florida and Vancouver in that order. So for weeks 4 and 5, we're facing the top 2 salaried offenses in the league. So what do we have to do? We have to figure out how to stop them, how to get their players off the field. You know, they've got three receivers, they've got 2 tight ends, and they've got Robert Redford. That's dangerous. Yes. And
so one of the things we're going to key on is turnovers and stopping Redford. I think the key to a win is keeping Redford under 100 yards rushing. And then when they throw to him, keeping the gain short, because he's always going to get yardage.
Yes.
What you need to do is stop it from being big yardage.
Okay. Sounds like a good plan to me. So tell me, 4 games down in the season. What is your general outlook on the next 4 games that are coming out?
Well, let me see. Let me pull up my schedule because I know our next 2 games.
Right. Which is Vancouver and
Queen City.
Queen City, okay. And Queen City, they have been bitten by that bug as well. One of the staple teams that are not really doing as well as they normally would be. At this time.
So I think the next 5 weeks for us is critical. Vancouver is week 5, right? That's going to be a test. Queen City, I don't think you could ever count them out, especially, you know, teams that do have a tendency of winning. They'll get that fire lit and they'll get on a rocket, right?
Right.
And then we face Charleston, Atlanta, and Jacksonville. I don't know anybody that would want to face 3 teams like that in a row.
You haven't seen our schedule.
Atlanta, who I don't think their record reflects how good of a team they are right now.
Yes, definitely.
They can turn it on you in a quarter and, you know, put 20, 30 points up. And then Charleston looks strong. You know, I know Allen puts a lot of work into that offense and defense, and They've got Simons and other players that can just dunk on you, and then Jacksonville, who's strong all the way around.
Okay, that's good stuff, man. So tell me, how did you keep your locker room active? Like, do you guys play different games? Do you have like 2 truths and a lie? What do you guys do?
I don't know if it's that fun. We've spent all of our time game planning, and I know it's at some point that we've got to change it up a little bit, but we have, I'd say every night there's 5 to 6 players that are usually the same ones, coming through and either helping us sim or watching games to scout or looking at plays. But I think our guys feel like they're really invested in what we're doing because they see our game plan. We talk about it 3 or 4 days out of the week, and they know going into the weekend, this is what I'm going to see, or this is what I hope to see, right? Because the sim doesn't always, or the game doesn't always play out like the sim does. But if you do a good job scouting and you have the other team built well, then I think there's kind of a satisfaction for everybody seeing, like, I expect this to happen here, and we know these routes are going to be run, instead of just watching something that you don't know what's happening. Which, right, I think the more you watch, the more you kind of get.
And that inclusion is very important too. Like, for you to feel like, okay, so coach is actually coming to me and showing me how these sims are being run, or we're going to set up a private YouTube channel that we're going to just run and we can see how everything is going to play. And I think that's very important. So they feel like they have a part in what you're doing. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. One of the other things we did early on was, I think we had every player in the locker room in a voice chat at once. And we went over progression and salary cap, and we explained exactly how progression works to everybody. We don't expect everybody to remember, but we want them to have an understanding of why they're doing what they're doing.
Perfect.
And so we really just wanted to put that knowledge into them so that they don't have questions, or sometimes when you don't understand, you don't want to say you don't.
Yes.
So we made it very like two-way communication. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and we'll always be honest about what we're doing. And I think that was important coming into the locker room that we got.
Okay, I like that a lot. So, one more question pertaining to LA. How are the responsibilities divided between you and Rachel and the rest of your coaching staff? Like, does it change from week to week? Do you guys take turns doing different things? How does that actually work?
So when we started, we had divided the duties 50-50 into football operations, meaning offense, defense, head coach, scouting. That's one side. And then the other side being GM, social media, scouting. And that was under Rochelle.
Okay.
Since the season started, however, we've swapped it up a little bit. I would say in terms of silos and making decisions, we still have the same delineation between the two, the football side and the front office side. But I can tell you that when we're doing sims, when we're scouting, it's both of us 100%. Okay. We both put the same amount of time and effort into watching what other teams are doing, talking about game plans. Sully's right there with us. He's putting in his defensive game plans every week, watching sims. Like you had mentioned earlier, people work, everybody's got their real life that they need to contend with and put above things like this. But this is the release, the fun part. And we're just trying to make it fun and trying to give those around us a good time as well.
Phenomenal. Love it. So just the last question that I have for you is kind of a two-parter.
Okay.
I would like for you to tell us more about your charity, Kick Like a Girl, and like how to make donations, what are the donations going towards, and who actually gets the money for that?
So last season, there were a couple different teams and individuals doing fundraisers. the charity I picked was Play Like a Girl.
Play Like a Girl. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Play Like a Girl, and they're a foundation that really puts emphasis on girls in the science and technology field, a field that's typically been male dominated. I learned about them when my daughter was, I don't know, like 3rd or 4th grade, and she expressed interest in science and technology, and some of the places they were working with were funded by Play Like a Girl.
Okay.
And so when everybody was doing charities and stuff, I thought this would be perfect. A great way to kind of give back to them. And it's just been a really great charity to raise money for, and so we continued this season to do the same thing. Now, we've offered to pay people to do stats for LA, and up to this point, no one has accepted money. They've just said donate it or keep it, and so all of those proceeds have gone to Play Like a Girl. And Rachel is doing. I don't remember the exact scale, but for like every interception she has, she's donating. For every pick six, she's donating. I believe tackles as well. And then her husband, Jack, he's donating by yard, by touchdown, by reception. So she's got a whole scale that she donates money on as well. When we donate, I was going through a website that allows you to raise money, but they were taking a lot off the top. And in the transactions, there was a lot going away. So I've just been doing a direct donation to playlikeagirl.org. If anybody else wants to donate, they can just Google Play Like a Girl or go to playlikeagirl.org. And, there's just a button at the top that you can put some money in. And whenever I do it in somebody else's, when somebody's doing stats for us and I say, I'm going to donate money in your name, I'll do a screenshot of the donation and say, here's the money that was donated in your name. Thank you for helping us out.
Phenomenal. So who gets the money? Like once we give the donations, and once you actually turn it to the website, how do they disperse the money? What is it spent on?
So I know they help spend it on what is it? What am I?
Like equipment, things like that.
Oh, okay. That's what I was looking for. They'll work directly with charter schools to donate not money, but like different kits for learning, robotic kits, kits to learn about chemistry, that kind of thing. They also put money into sporting events for girls, setting up leagues and stuff. So it's definitely multifaceted. They do multiple things with the money. I don't know where it directly goes, but I do know that it goes towards a good cause.
Fantastic. Well, that is beautiful, Tom. You and Ray have a wonderful hearts and spirits, and that is a really good thing to get behind. So, guys, playlikeagirl.org. If you want to make a donation, I think it's for a definitely worthy cause. Tom, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being on the show. Again, listen, my door is always open. You want to come on, get something off your chest, or just come by and say hi, maybe even break down a game or two with me sometime. Be my guest host. I'd love to have you.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I would love to do that. And I was wrong. The website is iplaylikeagirl.org, not Play Like a Girl.
Gotcha. iplaylikeagirl.org.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic, man. So, but I cannot let you go without giving you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out. Right now, Tom, the floor is yours.
I want to shout out all my folks in LA that are helping us put together some of the best game plans every week and making this one of the funnest leagues that I've ever been a part of, and a joy to be, contributing in and interacting with these folks.
Fantastic. Very nice talking to you, Tom, and looking forward to our next visit together.
Have a great day, Ashley.
All right, you too.
Bye.
All right, everybody, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. A special shout out and thanks goes out to Tom Ramen for being on the show and for letting us know about the charity that Key and Ray supports, which is iplaylikeagirl.org. The information will be in the description if you want to make donations or simply just find out more about them. So I am looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. Striker out.